Hey Atlanta Fringers, I'm Eli. We're here at Do You Validate Studios, and we're here today with Cielo and Larissa. We're going to talk about your show, Água Loves a Monster.
Yeah.
So can you tell us all what the show's about, what the audience can expect when they come in?
It's a show and it's also a ritual. So when the audience walks in, they're going to be handed little musical instruments and they're going to be asked to co-create a soundscape for the arc of the story. The arc of the story goes in and out of the waking dream and the sleeping dream. So we'll see lots of different characters coming through, kind of blurring the lines between those different realities.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different monsters that we'll look at and build a sort of metabolic container where we're looking at them and helping them sort of like transform rather than casting them away into the shadows because they're bad.
Amazing. And this is through puppetry, a lot of this?
Some of it is puppetry, some of it is costuming, some
Yeah.
of it is just, acting.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. So the audience is sort of helping set the tone of the piece. And so this might change. Each show will be unique in its own way,
Every
right?
show is going to be different. Yep.
That's amazing. Does the story follow what the audience is putting out as well?
I mean, I think it's always a co-collaboration,
Yeah.
right? Like every performer, talks about feeding from the audience, and it's a sort of dialogue, a call and response. So there's an arc that will happen across all of them, and the textures will be different each time.
So what inspired you to create this piece?
As a trans person, I've spent years just like thinking about hormones and gender affirming surgeries and things like that. And then a couple of years ago, I got a endometriosis diagnosis. And the treatments were hormones and surgery. And I was suddenly like horrified that that would ever be, the solution, quote unquote, the Western solution to healing. And so that inspired me to put together my dream practice. I'm a dreamer. I dream every night. And a therapy practice that I've been practicing from some teachers in Mexico. Every night I would ask to be shown what I was healing in my dreams. I would dream, and then in the morning I would do the therapy with all of the characters who showed up. And so over the course of a couple of months, I started getting to see textures of the illness that I was healing and started seeing patterns between what was showing up for me physically and larger social and systemic illnesses.
Wow.
So that's what the show that's the territory of the show. We touch the personal and the collective and the social.
I'm fascinated at the idea of taking something that sounds very internal and being able to translate that to an audience.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
really
like
interesting.
here's what my inside of my brain looks like, everybody.
That's fascinating.
I also want to add a little bit of context and history to how this has been developing.
Oh, yeah.
So Cielo and their work has been incubating also in a ceremonial context with a group that I run called the Bleeding Circle. And so this is a cohort of people who are doing exactly what you just mentioned, where they are in their own internal process around themes related to bleeding and menstruation and using creative expression to bring those really like deeply indescribable and life-changing experiences into form and experimenting with how to do that and translate that. So I've gotten to see this work grow over a little while now, like over a year maybe. So there's deep history. There's a lot of time and meditation and love that's gone into the development of this show. So you're getting to see the fruits of something that has been percolating for a long time. It's a really rare and unique opportunity, I think. It takes a lot of courage to go where Cielo has gone with these. We're looking at a deep cultural shift, actually, I think, in this show around how we approach and encounter the things that are the absolute hardest for us to look at and sit with and allow us to be changed by those things.
Why do you think that people should come see your show?
Getting access to an offering. They're being invited to help birth something that Cielo has been incubating and developing over a long time.
Well, my intentions for the audience are that they leave with more tools than they came in with to be able to look at something hard and have some tools to be able to really sit with it a little bit longer rather than just banishing it away,
Wow.
where it doesn't go anywhere, right? It just
Yeah.
kind of becomes a larger and larger shadow.
Yeah.
So my intention is that people leave with some more tools to be able to address those. I hope that that makes people leave with a little more vitality than they came in with as well. I think some of the most potent theater that I have seen in the past couple years that really looks at systemic issues, systemic harm, systemic violence, the shows have been really powerful, and I've left without I've had to go and cry about it, and I've had to go, there's no sort of extra, I'm going to use the word aftercare. So I'm hoping that we can do some of that in the show as well, and people leave maybe having cried, maybe having moved their body or moved through sound or humming or tapping, and they leave with a little more life.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, even if it doesn't all feel wonderful, I hope that everybody feels more alive.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. We see your show. We're participating. We're helping to create the soundscape and set the tone of the show, and we're leaving with tools, hopefully, or at least an experience that changes us and makes us something better.
That is the ritual intention.
That's so much better than what you get for a ticket price normally. Like, that's fantastic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Only $15. Everybody.
Right. Have you all done other festivals like this?
I haven't before.
Yeah.
My background is mostly in popular education and street theater, so theater of the oppressed, using theater as a tool for social transformation.
Yeah, I haven't done a festival like this. I've heard about Fringe for a number of years in different places. My work is maybe a little more rogue. There's a lot of DIY, like community come together types of projects that I've been involved in.
Larissa's their own Fringe festival. Yeah. You are a Fringe festival.
Oh, that's a high compliment. I'll take that. Yeah, I really love this concept called the theater of precarity, which a number of people have written about. In particular, Derek Carrasquillo, who's a collaborator of mine. And the idea there, at least for me, is that especially in times of like great shift and apocalypse and revolution, where honestly life is hard in a lot of ways, theater and ritual theater is a way for community to actually build skill together to metabolize what's going on in people's bodies and systems and in the collective.
Where are you all based?
I'm here in Atlanta.
You're in Atlanta, yeah.
I'm in Portland, Oregon, mostly.
How's Atlanta been treating you so far? I know you said you just got in.
I just got in. It's great. It's hot. It's muggy. My hair is a very different texture here. I'm really enjoying it.
Have you enjoyed the art scene in Atlanta?
I mean, really, what else is there in Atlanta except our art scene?
That's so
There's
true.
Corporations.
Yeah.
Corporations and art.
Yes.
That's what we do here.
That is our struggle, yeah.
Well, I think I just want to really welcome folks who are doing work on the ground, folks who are doing grassroots organizing, and maybe people who are wanting to do that work but aren't necessarily knowing how to plug in. I really want this to be a container that welcomes in folks who are in the streets, who are activists, who are organizers, who need the space to see our work validated, to see our work put on stage in a way that's very beautiful, that's really honoring of what we do. And I also want it to be an invitation for people who maybe aren't, it's not their role to be out in the streets or protesting, or might feel just stuck and unsatisfied reposting Instagram posts and things like that. I really want this space I want people to know that it's for those of us who want our resistance to colonialism and empire and state violence to really it deserves a beautiful life. And I want this to not only inspire people to come to the show, but also to like continue making work together that's beautiful.
I would say also that this is the show to come to if you have really deep questions about how to show up in these times.
Yeah.
And how to show up with your own healing journey, your own demons, your own monsters. Like if you're really looking at how do we learn from the lessons of this life and create something that works better for all beings, like this is the show to come to.
Well, thank you all so much for
Thanks
coming
for
by.
having us.
So go ahead and tell us where we can come see your show.
So Agua Loves a Monster is playing on Friday night at 8:30 at Limelight Theater.
Okay.
We have 2 shows on Saturday, June 8th. We've got one at 4 o'clock and one at 10 p.m. And then our final show is Sunday, June 9th at 1 p.m.
Check out Água Loves a Monster and enjoy the Atlanta Fringe Festival. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.